Here we go, we are on the play again, and this hand doesn't have a 2-drop, but we can Thoughtseize into Lingering Souls into Bloodbraid Elf, and all the extra mana shouldn't really hurt with that much late game power, so I'm not going to mulligan this. Turn 1 we need a black source, and we do want to get a white source pretty soon for Lingering Souls, so just fetching a Godless Shrine doesn't seem like the worst idea. Fetching here to get some of the non-basics out of our hand is also a nice bonus. So this looks like the Junt Mirror, except that he's playing some interesting cards. He has a Thoughtseize, Confident, Kitchen Finks, Wildspeaker hand, which is a very good curve, I have to say. Now we are on the play, which certainly helps. And while we don't have any answers for the Confident yet, we really don't want to get Thoughtseize, because that Bloodbraid Elf is very important to us. So let's see if that works out. Lotus Cobra. So that accelerates us quite a bit, and it should survive, so I think we want to get that in play, giving us the option to Bloodbraid next turn or Lingering Souls with Flashback. I kind of like the Lingering Souls with Flashback and attack for 2 with Cobra, because we can still Bloodbraid next turn, and that way we have the most pressure. If we don't Bloodbraid into a removal spell for the Confident, then we might actually not be that far ahead, as we would like. So playing out a 3rd land and having 2 landfall triggers does allow us to cast Lingering Souls, so going to do that. Now, don't think it really matters what we get here. I'm going to get the Forest to stay ahead in the life total race a little bit. So he might actually want to block here, but with the Kitchen Finks in hand, he might think that his life total isn't really in danger. But of course it is from our Lingering Souls. Okay, he doesn't block. Yeah, that's what I would expect. I still like our spot here. He has another Kitchen Finks. That's an interesting attack. Now, I could just take 2 and give him more cards and damage. Or invest one of my spirits to get rid of the Confident. Yeah, I think 1 spirit is totally fine as a trade here. I mean, our hand is pretty amazing, so don't see a reason to not play it like this. Here I do want to Bloodbraid at some point. I don't know how to play this exactly. If I drop the Tarmogoyf, then I still have a very good blocker for his Kitchen Finks, and he can't really block it very well either. If I play the Bloodbraid, and depending on what I cascade into, it's actually not that amazing. So I think I'm going to go for Tarmogoyf here next, which is worse against Thoughtseize, I guess, but Tarmogoyf has to be comparable to Bloodbraid Elf on this board. The question that remains is if I'm willing to trade my Cobra for 1/2 of his kitchen things, making it a 2/1. But I can always do that later. I won't need the mana from the Cobra, that's for sure. But if I draw a Deathrite Shame, I want to be able to exile the things. Yeah, overall I think it's a pretty even thing here. I do want to deplete his resources as fast as possible, so attacking with the Cobra might have the added bonus of being able to attack him more easily next turn, but both 3-1, both 3-2 and 2-1 kitchen things trade with Bloodbraid, so it's not a big deal. I'm going to hold back the Cobra, see what he does. He can't really cast Garruk on this board against the spirits, which is good. And it's possible that we draw something really good, or want to flashback Lingering Souls we cascade into. So having the extra mana from the Cobra is actually not that bad. Now, yeah, I kind of like that. Oh, I guess I do want to actually make the mana and then play Tarmogoyf instead of what I did, but this also gives me a great Maelstrom Pulse if I cascade into it. So let's see what we cascade into. A Thoughtseize, not the best, but also not the worst. So we can get a Planeswalker. He has more kitchen things, but getting the Planeswalker means that he's basically out of good cards, and Tarmogoyf grows one more. So he's just on all things. Four 5 Tarmogoyf can be double blocked by kitchen things, which I don't want. I might want to offer the trade between Bloodbraid and one things here, but I could also see just ignoring all of them, which doesn't sound like the worst idea. I'm not really feeling like I should try to punch through triple persist kitchen things, a board of all these kitchen things. What I could have done was attack with both Cobras. Both Cobra and Bloodbraid. Then he probably trades both. Gains 4 life. And I might have an opening to attack with Tarmogoyf at some point. But that's kind of dangerous. If he rips a removal spell for Tarmogoyf, then I'm suddenly without protection. So here it's basically his confident raising my spirit tokens, and the beast within doesn't look like it's going to help him. It's also possible that he's forced to go on the offensive here, simply because me blocking his kitchen things does give him back a lot of life. So yeah, I could see attacking with 3 kitchen things here, and maybe even beast withinning my Tarmogoyf, but it looks like he's going for a different line. So if he isn't going on the offensive with his things. I'm not going to go on the offensive with my creatures. If he's beast with inning my spirit tokens, that has to be a good deal, and of course this Tarmogoyf is also a good card to draw here. He's down to 2 with an Abrupt Decay in hand. Okay. Yeah, that's a pretty good attack because I would lose to a Lightning Bolt if I didn't block at all. But if I block, then he has he gets 2 life and the blocker. But I think I can just attack with everything and kill him. Okay, playing against an interesting Junt list here. Certainly has a lot of kitchen things. So we want to deal with his graveyard with the help of our Deathrite Shamans. Liliana Kitchen Things is good. Don't like Boom Bust all that much. I think it's not how you win the Junt Mirror. Although cascading into it is of course amazing, but that means you are ahead on the board. And that's basically how you win the mirror anyway. Dismember deals with Tarmogoyf, so that's good. Let's just see how much stuff we can put in here without overloading our deck. Not the greatest fan of Maelstrom Pulse on the draw in the mirror. I like the discard spells better because they will take the the larger threats out of his hand. And I think we can deal with Garruk quite nicely. It's possible that we should cut 1 discard spell because they will be very bad draws in the late game, and the 1 Maelstrom Pulse might just be better. I think we can do that. He's down to 6, but we have a great hand. Just going to have to see how our mana works out, but we can certainly fetch a red-green land, so that's good. So if the Deathrite survives, we are very far ahead, depending on what he does here. Okay, Abrupt Decay. So, instant and creature in the graveyard with a fetch land means the Tarmogoyf is good. He might have Liliana, but that's something I'm not going to play around here. If he -2s Liliana, it's basically a trade. If not, well, it's not a complete trade, but it's fine, especially if we follow up with Kitchen Things and then discard something irrelevant and still have a Bolt in our own Liliana. So let me figure out the mana here. He isn't going to attack it, so getting a Stomping Ground seems like a very good idea, and then we can still get the Swamp here. He might have another removal spell for the Goyf, but now Bolt is not an option, and Abrupt Decay he already played. So like I said, he might have the Liliana here, but I'm not even sure if he's playing it, given that he has cards like Garruk Wildspeaker. So here I like plussing Liliana pretty obviously. should be better than just dropping the kitchen things, but not too sure what we should get. I think saving some life here might be in order. Just getting the swamp should still allow us to cast all of our spells. And I don't want to fall too far behind with our life. I'm going to discard Abrupt Decay, because that gives me a very good mix of cards to play against whatever he does. I want the Maelstrom Pulse against any troublesome permanents, including Garruk Wildspeaker. I want Kitchen Things as a threat, and protection for Liliana. And Bold is just the most efficient card. Not in my deck, but in my hand, certainly. So I don't want to clog it up too much, forcing me to play only one spell. So we have a Bloodbraid, which means that we don't necessarily want to +1 Liliana anymore. He's down to 2 cards, and we want to kill that Confident. So if we +1 Liliana, we would have to Pulse or Bolt the Confident, but discard Kitchen Things at the same time. So -2ing and dropping our own Kitchen Things seems better. It still means Liliana is going to trade for 1 card, and we have some insane draws available to us. This is interesting. I want to keep Liliana around because she's very amazing at this stage in the game. So we can just pulse this and discard a Bolt. With double Bloodbraid, we can... There aren't that many cards we can draw that are really bad. And keeping both is much better against any kind of discard he might have. It's kind of unfortunate that we are sitting here with Bloodbraids and no 4th land, but like I said, there isn't too much to worry about. Okay, maybe there is. Okay, that's interesting. He has a Cruel Edict, but if he casts it, then my Kitchen Things returns and simply trades with his Bloodbraid, so he can't cast it. I don't like the Cruel Edicts here. But hitting my Liliana down to 1 is certainly good. Kind of punishing me here. I can't really +1 her at this point, because the Bloodbraids will just win regardless. Now I just want to generate the advantage while I can. The Tarmogoyf is insane, of course, but it's not clear if I'll be able to cast the Bloodbraids in the near future. I can safely attack with both here. Liliana isn't even a big deal, and if he attacks, I'm also fine. So I think he should actually have taken the trade here. Kind of has to trade with Bloodbraid, but I'll take this trade any day as well. Liliana wasn't really pressuring him, so I don't really get why he attacks there. But yeah, that was pretty easy. Okay.